Hey guys, this will be actually I think your first ever level 2 problem set. So try to figure it out yourself and unpause the video when you're done. So first let's read the problem and then create our diagram, reference, and all that good stuff. So as you can see, we start off at 95 kilometers for 180 kilometers, and then it begins to rain, so you slow down to 65. And then it's this for 4.5 hours in total. So for our diagram, what we can do is me draw my best house. Yep, so that's our house for today. So this is the 180 kilometer point, and from here to here, you're doing 95 km per hour, kilometers per hour. So this plus and minus signify a reference. And then the total time for the whole thing is 4.5 hours. So in order to solve for part A, which is how far is your hometown from the school, we know that V average is equal to delta x over delta t1. So what you can do, so we already know that 180 kilometers is part of that value that we're trying to find because we're trying to find the total, how far the hometown is. So 180 is already part of that, but we need to see how long or the, how far we drove for 65 kilometers an hour. And that's what we're gonna do with using this equation. So with this equation, what we'll try to solve for is t, so time. So time, delta time, is equal to delta x over v average. And then over the course of the 180 kilometers, our average velocity was 95 kilometers an hour. So if kilometers cancel out, we get that it was for about 1.89 hours. And if we know that it's for 1.89 hours, we can solve that the second time is 4.5 minus 1.89, which is equal to 2.61 hours. That means that you were driving for 65 kilometers for 2.61 hours. So with that being said, if you just multiply the time to get your distance, so time times, so t2 times v average 2, we get 2.61 times 65, which is equal to 3, or which is equal to 169 kilometers. And then to find the total distance, we can do delta x is equal to 169 plus 180, which is equal to 349 kilometers. So that's how you solve for part A. So now let's look at part B. What was your average speed? So this just requires simple V average is equal to delta x over delta t1. As you guys always know, so 349 kilometers on top over delta t, which in this case would be 4.5 hours, because that's the total time in which you drove the 349 kilometers. and you get 77.6 kilometers per hour. So that's how you solve the first question. So now, for the second question, let's take a minute to pause the video and just read it out, and then I'll get to it. So let's first draw out the problem. So this is what our diagram looks like. So our car starts from uh, 0 seconds, it goes to 9 seconds. But between 5 seconds and 9 seconds, it comes to a stop in 4 seconds. So what is the magnitude of its acceleration? And in G's. So what we can do is we know that V average is equal to delta x over t, which is equal to, in this case, because we know that over 5 seconds it traveled 120 meters. So what is that? 120 over 5.0, which is equal to 24 meters per second. With that value, what we can do is we can find the magnitude of its deceleration where it comes to a stop. So if when it comes to a stop, that means that the velocity is 0. With that in mind, the velocity is 0, then a is equal to delta v over t, which is equal to 0 minus 24 meters per second, because delta equals final minus initial, so 0 minus 24 meters per second over time, which is 4 seconds. Oops, not cancel out. It actually multiplies, so you get minus 6.0 meters per second squared. And then if we want to convert this to G's, 1 G is 9.8. So this is just simple dimensional analysis like I taught in the review video, times 1 G, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. You get that. And then this now equals minus 0.612 G's. So that's how you solve that problem. The next video, I will be solving a level 3 problem, and in the video after that, we will be having a quiz, so make sure you prepare for that and you're constantly studying.